Imagine you are cruising down the road and suddenly your diesel truck feels like it is pulling a massive mountain with thick black smoke pouring out of the back. This could be because your truck is dealing with a code P2456, which basically means your diesel particulate filter pressure sensor is acting up in an erratic or intermittent way. This issue is specific to diesel engines, and it is something you really cannot ignore because it might lead to serious internal engine or fuel system damage if the soot buildup gets out of control. Your diesel particulate filter, or DPIF as most people call it, is designed to catch about 90% of the carbon particles or soot coming out of your exhaust. Inside that filter is an element made of things like ceramic, metal fibers, or cordierite, which is the most common material because it filters so well, though it can overheat if things go south. The problem is that once that filter gets filled with soot, the exhaust pressure starts to climb, and the filter needs to regenerate to burn all that junk off. In active systems, your powertrain control module, or PICM, will actually inject things like diesel fuel or exhaust fluid into the exhaust to spike the temperature and incinerate that soot. If you have a passive system, it might require you to park the truck or even take it to a shop for a manual regen that can take several hours. Now, the code PI2456 specifically points to the pressure sensor known as AA. This sensor is usually mounted away from the heat and connects to the exhaust with silicone hoses. If those hoses are cracked, melted, or clogged, or if the sensor itself is failing, the PICM gets confused by the erratic voltage signals. When you start diagnosing this, always look for technical service bulletins or TSBI first, because there might be a known factory fix that will save you a ton of time and money. You will want to grab your digital voltometer and check the wiring near those hot exhaust pipes for any chafing or damage. I've seen so many cases where the sensor ports or the tubes themselves are just clogged with gunk, or the high-temperature silicone hoses have collapsed. Make sure your diesel exhaust fluid reservoir is not empty and that you are using the right fluid. Then test the sensor resistance against the manufacturer specs. If you find a melted hose, remember to reroute it better when you replace it so it does not happen again. It is all about making sure those pressure signals are rock solid so your truck can breathe properly.